In this episode of Behind the Brand, we're recapping our experience at AdConnect, the annual conference hosted by the American Advertising Awards. A few of the Moxies headed down to the Big Spoon and Cherry, aka Minneapolis, to attend and connect with marketers, designers, and ad pros from across the country. We'll discuss what went down, stood out, and inspired them as we look ahead to another big year. Welcome to Behind the Brand, the podcast for small business owners, solopreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to start strong, stand out, and stay bold. I'm Taylor.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Isabella, and we're part of the powerhouse team of marketers at Moxie Creative.
We're taking you behind the scenes to explore what it takes to build and grow a memorable brand.
Ready to get behind the brand? Let's dive in. Hello, Moxieverse. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Brand. Taylor here, and I'm joined by everybody's favorite Moxie, Mr. Mo.
Hello again.
And for the first time in a long time, our designer, Tyler Schmitz.
What up?
Welcome back to the pod, Ty.
It's been a minute.
It has, since we were on the couches.
It's first week, I think.
Yeah. Threw you into the wolves.
I must have done really bad on that first one.
Was it your first week?
Yeah, it was like his
Oh,
first week
wow.
here. Yeah.
Go
yeah.
get on the couch for the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great, though. It was wonderful. Yeah, me, you, and Bella.
Yeah.
We talked about agency versus in-house, right?
Mhm.
I think so. If anybody's interested in circling back.
The big switch.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like it so far?
Oh, it's a dream. It's the dream.
Oh, good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you've been a dream for us too. We've loved having you with us. I feel like you and I are starting to reach a level of I can just like say shit to you and you don't.
We're synced.
Yeah, like you're just like okay.
Yeah, like this morning. Go change those.
Yeah.
lights
Go
in the
change those
bathroom.
light bulbs.
I didn't say it like that. You guys really helped me. Tyler was changing light bulbs. Mo was getting the dirty dishwater out of the sink because I couldn't touch it.
I always ask Kelly, I'm like, I never get any projects from you. And she's like, well, Taylor steals you every week. And I'm like, okay, that works.
Yeah, that is kind of how it works. You're my designer now.
Sweet.
Well, I wanted to sit down with both of you to talk about AdConnect, which is the conference that the two of you, along with Kelly, went to a few weeks ago. We don't get to leave the office. I don't want to say we don't leave the office very often, right? And especially you designers. You know, Kelly and I are out and about meeting with clients sometimes. And I guess you, Tyler, you get to go out on content sessions and stuff, but we aren't going to conferences or really partaking in continuous education a ton. The opportunity came up and Kelly was like, I think that we should get the guys to go to this. I was like, yeah, absolutely. It sounds awesome for them based on everything that I've heard and read. I thought it would be fun to just bring your experience to the pod. So AdConnect is the annual conference for District 8 of the American Advertising Federation, and Moxie has really jumped on.
Is it just District 8 or is it all?
Well, I think District 8 puts it on, but I think
Oh,
or maybe like every district hosts it every other year. I don't know.
I think every
Does it
district.
switch
I think
districts?
it goes from district to district, but
District,
it's
sure.
all.
Cause I guess because there's people from Texas and
It's all, yeah.
everywhere. So okay, reverse. It's part of the American Advertising Federation, and it's their annual conference. There, does that
Yeah.
sound better? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And Moxie has really jumped on board with our local AAF program this year, working to, help out with some things in a different capacity than maybe we have in the past. I've had my run at president. Kelly's having her second run at president. Mo, you've helped out with the Student Design Challenge and stuff, but I think as a team, we're collectively just getting more involved. You've gone to some events now, which is fun, submitted a poster for the CMYK poster show, so it only felt right to get you guys to go to this. One of the other big points of it was that Aaron Draplin was going to be there. Not only is Aaron your guys' design hero, he's also Kelly's cousin. And we'll talk about Draplin a little bit because I'll be honest, I'm like, who is that? What's the allure? So I want you guys to explain that to me. But from both of your point of view, what is your overall, first impression, overall experience from the conference?
I thought the conference was fantastic. I was there for both days. Every speaker had a great perspective on something going on in the industry currently. Even at one point, there was a few breakout sessions and I hadn't really signed up for one. I just wandered across the hall until one that was about copywriting. There was a radio personality from Texas who went around the room and would interview everyone and just like, what are you doing? Who do you work for? What is a goal that you have? And then help them write a headline that would get them earned value. So you could send out an article to different places
Sure.
and they would maybe run with it based on your headline. And it was super fun and super crazy because she would just do these like almost like clickbait
Yeah.
things that were like, oh yeah, I would read that.
I would read that.
And
just like fast.
just fast off the
Yeah.
top of her head. And it was, I mean, she's been doing it a long time.
Yeah, she
and-
obviously has a
and
formula and stuff.
Yeah, it was
but
really, yeah, like only short words. Lists are good, just very clickbaity. And I had never really thought about like, well, why am I drawn to clickbait?
yeah.
And she definitely could get you to click on
Yeah,
something.
I
so-
always, if I see like top 10,
Yeah.
I'm clicking on it.
So-
And maybe 10 is too much.
Yeah,
It might be
right,
like
sure.
top 3
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I'm always clicking.
if you have a multiple syllable word, she would like cut that, shorten it. So even a bunch of stuff that I didn't even know I was.
And maybe that doesn't pertain to your current position,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Although if I am writing something, it's probably clickbaity.
You do a great job writing. There have been times where I'm like, uh-oh, Mo's coming for me. What was your, and let's not talk about Draplin, let's not talk about Bruno.
Right.
Yeah, we can talk about them. But like, what was your favorite speaker that you heard from?
I really liked them all. There was a coach, kind of motivational speaker who talked about communication. And everything he said was, I was just like, I gotta write this down. And it was just the way he said it. And he had a PowerPoint, but he wasn't like reading off the PowerPoint. It
Sure.
was like stuff he actually used on a daily basis, coaching like middle school football.
Okay.
And I really liked some stuff that he talked about, like brainstorming with a team and how a lot of people in a room brainstorming, people might think my idea is the best. They don't want the best idea. They
Sure.
want their idea.
Yeah.
And they might think their idea is the best, but they're already sold on that and they don't want to. But he was kind of saying like the best idea from a brainstorm is going to be our idea and everybody in the room like working together. Because if I have an idea, it might be the best one, but I might not even be brave enough to say it.
Yeah.
And just having that sort of open brainstorming where all ideas are welcome. So I thought that was good.
That's super cool. And
Yeah.
that's like something that can like connect on like a professional and a personal level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And just intent, like the way you say stuff. You might not mean to hurt somebody with something that you said if you're being honest, but that doesn't mean it doesn't
Don't
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It was
I
really
should've been there.
interesting. Yeah.
Tyler would probably tell me that I need to, not you, Tyler, my husband, Tyler, probably tell me.
But also for both on both sides, like knowing that what you said hurt, but it wasn't like intentionally
Yeah.
hurtful. So stuff like that. It was just really interesting. And then the third thing that I thought was great, back to the idea thing, was there's all kinds of times in history where maybe someone in California has an idea and someone in New York has the same idea because of whatever's going on in the world. That doesn't mean someone stole the idea from someone else, but the person who does it first, like, and takes action and does something with the idea, that's like the important thing. So like the sticker,
Yeah.
you're just talking about the sticker
Yeah.
stuff. And like I'm sure tons of other people have that idea, but unless you like take action on the idea, it really isn't your idea until you do something with it.
Yeah, for sure. I know that. Yeah, that's funny. I remember a few years ago when Colt was like a baby, I had gone to a play cafe in the cities and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so fun to like go and think loud. And then I remember talking about it with Kelly or, starting one. And then, like a year later, the Mother Nurture girls are starting and it's like, well, I had that idea first. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't because I didn't do anything with it.
It is a great idea, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did it
Oh, of
because
course.
I heard tons of, just having kids around the same
Yeah.
time as you, people saying that, oh, we need something like that
Yeah.
around here. We would drive to Minneapolis
Yeah,
to do
right.
it. but-
Drive to the cities for it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Ty, you're up.
What's the question? It's been a little bit.
Well, first of all, I want to ask you, okay, because you are a younger designer, have you ever been to anything like Ad Connect before?
So not Ad Connect specifically. Most of the conferences that I was required to attend were for continued learning in some sort of science capacity. And they don't layman's term anything at these conferences. They are doctors talking about very detailed things that
Yeah.
I can't grasp. So
Yeah.
it was really refreshing to attend a conference where you get to nerd out about design and video production
Yeah,
and
it's so
animation.
fun.
So it was incredible.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
What were some of your favorite speakers that you heard from?
Okay, well, other than Draplin and Bruno,
Well, you
local
can talk about
legends there.
Bruno.
I know. I would say the opening panel discussion of the first 4 panelists that were up there describing and talking about, their agencies and like the big city agencies and how they operate, how they're managing work from home and how they team build and all their setup and seeing how much of that we do,
Yeah.
in little St. Cloud on a much smaller scale, but just as efficient.
Yeah.
It was really refreshing
That's really
and
cool.
insightful seeing how other big players are doing it,
Right.
and we're doing it just the same, just as good
Yeah.
on a much smaller scale.
Yeah. Is there anything that you learned from your time there that you're like, oh, I would like to start implementing this, whether it be like with us as a team or just with you?
I would like not from those panelists.
Sure.
It was mostly from like the breakouts and
Yeah.
along the lines of like modifying the creative process, implementing some of these new AI tools to speed along work in your workflow process, not necessarily replace it.
Yeah.
And just different ways of thinking about your process and, getting weird, exploring alternative options that you wouldn't even have
Yeah.
considered to
Yeah.
start. So
Yeah, I love that. We wrote a blog about this too, or I had you guys write up your thoughts, and that was like one of my favorite things that you were writing about. And like we owe that to our clients, right? To like be weird and really get creative with things. So I thought that was just a cool takeaway. So you mentioned AI. Was that a huge topic at the conference?
it seems to be.
It was I think some of the people were really for it, and
Okay.
some of the people, Bruno and Draplin aren't very AI.
Well,
they're not
right,
going.
yeah.
They're never going AI. It
Yeah.
seems
Old school
Yeah.
analog.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like some people were like talking about it a lot, but other people were like definitely.
Were they
making a
talking
stand
about it
against
more from like the efficiency standpoint, or were there like people there that are like, we're using this to like create?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I wrote about it in that blog piece about the really cool thing about this conference was you had Draplin and Bruno from that analog perspective, and then you also had all of these industry professionals bringing up AI, not as like it's going to replace your job, but more of this is happening now and you need to adapt. This is how we're adapting and how we're implementing it with our clients. So it was like a balancing act of
Yeah.
analog versus the future and how to navigate that.
Sure.
I do think though overall, even the people who were like hardcore AI, they couldn't deny that what made something good was like the ideas and concepts and the human aspect of something.
The HI.
Yeah, the HI. And so
Are we calling it that?
That's
I
what they
kinda
call
like
it. The human intelligence.
I know. I kind of like it.
like the idea going to taking the idea to AI, if you started with a bad idea, it's never going to be.
It's
AI
never
is
gonna
never
be
gonna
good.
make it
Yeah.
good.
Right.
And some of the good ideas that were examples, I don't think were done well with AI. It just all, I think me and Tyler thought a lot the same. We talked about it a lot, and it just seemed anything that was AI that was presented immediately seemed fake and
Right.
boring and
Yeah.
just like,
And I know it's always hard from like our perspectives, and I've said this probably on this podcast ad nauseum at this point. Like even when we're talking about billboards, like I'm constantly like, oh my god, that billboard, whatever. Like we just see things with a different eye, and it's easy, I think, for me to be like, well, I see it that way because I'm surrounded by it, or it's my career. Like this is what I do for a living, but I do think consumers see that shit too. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that it's just because we have a different eye for things that we're
I
turned
think-
off by it. I think it's happening.
yeah,
more than
I
we
think even before, AI was a thing, if you saw a model that was overly airbrushed,
Yeah,
or, like,
right. Yeah.
something was, their hair
Now you
was
have
cropped out
complete
weird.
AI models
Yeah.
that are 9 feet tall.
And there's something off about it, and I don't think people are attracted to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
for
they
sure.
brought that up. They talk to people, and there is a large group of people that they don't care if it's fake. They're okay with it. And, they brought up a clip of Keanu Reeves talking about the Matrix and whether or not this AI content, if it matters, if it's real or not. And there's a population of people out there that just don't care if it's real or not. And to us, in what we do, we want it to be genuine and we want it to be
Yeah.
real. So
Yeah.
that's where we're kind of battling it
Yeah.
out.
Maybe those people that don't care if it's real or not, just because they don't care doesn't mean that they're taking action. Like, doesn't mean that they're doing the thing that you want them to do. They might
Yeah.
just be like, oh, I don't care. Well, that's also like not good.
Is
right?
that being
Like,
successful then?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, right, exactly.
An example that I had that I kind of had brought up, and just to our little group when we were talking, was I think it was last winter, there was a huge solar flare,
Yeah.
and there was northern lights everywhere. Like, I don't know, the majority of the U.S. could see the northern
Yeah.
lights. And I have never seen them in person, like been outside and looked up and been like blown away by what I'm seeing. And so we went out in our backyard, and like I was seeing all these photos on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and I went out in the backyard and I couldn't see
Couldn't
anything.
see it, yeah.
And at the time I had like kind of I was on the verge of getting a new phone. So,
Yeah.
So I had really old phone, and my wife would hold up her phone, and you could see like
it, yeah,
crazy colors, and it looked
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, maybe we're not seeing it here or whatever. So I couldn't see it on my phone, but she could see it. So it was kind of like, well, I'm not really getting. So I went out for a drive, like, oh, maybe if I get darker. And I went through the country roads, of St. Joe, hundreds of people, I think all the college students out by the college, and everyone's out on these dark roads with their phones up in the air. And I was just like, what in the world is going on? Because you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And I just felt ripped off.
Yeah. Felt ripped off by the Aurora Borealis.
Because why? I mean, I just thought, like, what am I doing? I'm not really seeing it. I'm looking through my phone.
Yeah.
And I could just go look at
Pictures.
crazy good pictures.
Yeah.
Way better than what they're seeing
Yeah.
online. Yeah. And I kind of think that is like AI to me in a way. Like, I'm just, there was an example of.
Well, it's for sure some form of AI, right? Like there's some form of
yeah, it just
technology
can detect
that's like within your phone that's making that happen, right?
Yeah.
Shutter.
The shutter speed.
Allowing more light in than the
But
human
you could
eye.
see it even if you didn't take a picture though. Like you could just hold it up. You could like just hold your phone up.
Yeah.
And you could see it.
It
I
just
remember
is-
that. I
it's
remember
just
that.
more-
Yeah. And Tyler was the same way. He's like, it's on your phone. Like it's not even
Yeah.
cool. And he used to work up in Cook, so he's seen like the real, whatever, the realest Northern Lights. He's like almost in Canada.
Yeah.
And so he's like, this is just dumb.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like if you go to any concert now, the world sees. I mean, everyone in the world sees the world through their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to a concert, I'm not taking my phone out of my pocket
Yeah,
for anything.
I
don't.
stopped doing that
And
too.
it's
Yeah,
just
me too.
Maybe
seize
one
a
or two
phone.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, be there.
Yeah.
I want the real thing.
I
Yeah.
always think like, am I going to go back and listen to
Ever.
this recording? No.
It's gonna be blown out.
Yeah.
It's not gonna sound great.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had an example of rabbits jumping on a trampoline.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this viral image, but it was like, a dozen rabbits that somehow got on this trampoline, and they were all kind of bouncing around on it. And it looks real, but it's AI.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, when you find out, I think it's the same thing, kind of like you just,
Like, oh,
who cares? It's super cute. So if you're just like, so if you see it and you're like, oh, that's cute, I'll show my kids, they'll think
Yeah.
it's fun. But then if you're like, but if people are like trying to pass it off as real.
Yeah, like it's
so
not real.
I think maybe
Yeah.
that's the thing. If
Yeah.
you're trying to pass off these actors or these voiceovers as something more than just like a tool to get your point across.
I don't know about you, but whenever I see one of those, I fall for it. I fall
Yeah.
for a good 3 now. I'll like it. I'll look at the comments. I'll see that it's AI.
What was
and
the
I'm
one
like,
that you fell for?
Oh, it was the dumbest thing. It was like at an airport terminal, and this lady was getting mad that she couldn't get on the plane because her support animal kangaroo, it was a little like wallaby. They wouldn't let it on the plane, and I was like, why would you even try that? It got me so good. And I had liked it, and I was like, after I found out, I went back, unliked it. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
That's funny. Okay, wonderful. Well, this just took an AI turn that I was not expecting, but that's okay. Good conversation. But I do want to talk a little bit about you guys seeing Draplin, because I know that there are a lot of design nerds that hang out and listen to our podcast, so you can make them all jealous by that. So for starters, if you're someone like me, or like my mom who listens to this, who would have no idea, who is Aaron Draplin besides Kelly's cousin?
You want the full background or like?
Yeah, like when did you
So, no.
please read his Wikipedia page for us. Like what or
Will's
maybe
got it
like who is
memorized.
Aaron Draplin
Yeah.
to you? Like when did you discover Draplin and like
Yeah, I'm
that
not
obsession?
sure when I started paying attention, but I probably was aware of his work way before I even knew who he was,
Mm-hmm.
because he started doing stuff for like big snowboard companies.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of how you started your career, not maybe big, but right? Didn't you do snowboard design or
Um,
surfboards or skateboards or something? Did you lie to me one time?
maybe, I mean, I like
Or maybe you dreamed
was
about
a huge
it. I don't
snowboarder. Yeah, I
know.
mean,
He was in the space. He was
I
out
did.
in
I did some T-shirts
Montana and stuff.
for some lifties out in Washington, like, but nothing. He's doing like snowboard brand
Yeah.
stuff. Which if there's any snowboard brands out here, come work with us. Yeah, he went to MCAD, which is a huge design school here in Minnesota, and moved out west. And has huge clients. He worked with like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
He works with Flaming Lips for
NASA.
Jack
Tenacious
Black.
D, right?
Yeah,
that's
Jack
who
Black
you're-
and
yeah.
Jack White were both in his presentation.
Yeah.
Both of the. So he said he wants to work with
Yeah. And he's
Pantone.
worked with like Nike.
Nike, big
Ford.
Ford. Anyways, he has a unique style
Mm-hmm.
that he's known for, and he's known for like working with small companies and just making them look awesome.
Yeah.
And doing kind of crazy collabs with them. So yeah, he's come here a few times. I've never had the opportunity to meet him, but we definitely had our fill, I think.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that you don't form your own opinions, but like as a previous intern for Mo, like did you like start to love Draplin because Mo loved Draplin, or like were you on the Draplin train before working with Mo?
I was buying products created by Draplin before I knew who Draplin was.
Okay.
I was in a hobbyist kind of setting, and I liked these little notebooks that
Yeah.
I could carry around, jot down notes, and I purchased those for years.
Yeah,
and
your cute little field notes.
I love them.
Which was so funny. I didn't even realize until after you guys came back from the conference that was a
That's
Draplin.
his, yeah.
I had no idea. But since you started, every time we go into a branding session, you just whip out this cute little teeny
It just
baby
fits in your pocket. It's
notebooks. And
always
I'm like,
there.
what is this guy with these little notebooks? It's so
I would take it into
weird.
board meetings, and if I wasn't paying attention, I would just be drawing really
Yeah.
stupid little drawings. But yeah, so I was buying that stuff before I even knew who he was, and then I think towards the end of college, I started to know who he was. It definitely was influenced when I started interning with Mo, but I feel like so many designers now gathered a bunch of inspiration from Draplin, either in
Sure.
a good way or a bad way. He was just like, he's old school, he's analog, and most of his stuff is so bold that it's hard to not take inspiration from.
Yeah. I think maybe like the outside world who, this is not their life and they're not working in this, they don't maybe fully understand like what design is and like can be. It's kind of just something that you see and like is maybe taken for granted a little bit. And like there are people like Draplin who like genuinely paved the way for like design to be a thing, right? Like a big, cool, like this
thing.
can be your life. Like you can have a career in this, and
Yeah,
so
so-
and he maybe wouldn't think that or feel that way, but at least that's how I would feel if I was a designer and there was someone out there like that. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I
they
think
can
part of
they
his-
can be super freaking successful at
Yeah.
doing this. Like that could be me too.
Yeah. He talked about that, how he just wanted to basically kind of do art for
Mm-hmm.
a living, and how he could do that, and design, made him do that and more. And he talked to us a lot about that. The other cool thing is we did a 2-hour breakout session, which ended up being like 3.5 hours or something. So there was a lot of time that he was just answering questions from different people. And it was a real small, intimate group. So I think he got real about like
Sure.
client stuff that you'd maybe just be like we would talk about or something. And he told us about awesome clients and bad clients, and
Yeah.
how much he made on certain logos and
Yeah.
things, and even some that were like the most money he's made on different projects. He was just like, oh, I wish I just had my time back because it was a nightmare. So
Yeah.
not chasing, sometimes the big clients aren't really and we know that.
Yeah,
from
we've
experience.
we've experienced that. Like I think we're of a mindset of like we'd rather have 10 little projects with
Yeah.
awesome clients than one big project with a client that treats
Is
us
hard.
like shit.
Yeah. Or just wants you to, wants the name.
Yeah.
He had a client that, this is the king of logos, basically.
Yeah.
For our generation, I
Right.
think. But he, I'm sure he has, his heroes. But he had a client that came to him, wanted a logo, and he did some stuff for him. And then the guy went on vacation and came back with a bunch of like AI or Canva logos or something. And they ended up using one, and he just did the rest of the brand for the same amount of money. But then they were trying to say like, oh, Draplin made this logo, and he was like, don't tell people that I
did
made
that.
logo. I did the brand. I like built your brand assets and stuff, but I did not make that logo. Like the owner of your company made that logo. So even he is like, knows what good design is and doesn't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so fun. Like being able to just get to talk to him and also realize like big brand designers are going through, some of the
Yeah.
same struggles that we're going with, like getting, things poo-pooed by clients, and we're like, just go this
Yeah.
direction. It's so good. And they're
Yeah.
like, that's not what I want. I want this. That's significantly worse.
Yeah.
We
That's
were
fun.
fanboying pretty good.
Yeah. You're fanboying pretty good. You even got to take him to the airport.
We got there really early. Like, we wanted to, just get on the road, get there, be settled. And no one was there. They were still setting up, the event space.
Yeah.
And there he is, setting up his booth. And
Yeah,
me
he
and-
was like the first one there.
We were like, 50 feet away, and we were looking at each other, and we were like, should we go talk to him? Should we go over there and talk to him? And we were like, no, we gotta wait. And then Bruno came up and we helped her set her booth up. And then after that, we went over and talked to him. But,
Yeah, Bruno broke the ice because they
Yeah.
kind of know each other. and-
Okay.
But it's this person that's had all of this massive success that you've looked up to for so long. And then, you know, the sessions are starting. There's a breakfast. And he comes and sits down with Mo and I and just is eating breakfast like we've known each other for years. And I was like, with all the success, he's still just a dude that loves design and loves
Yeah.
talking design. So it was great fanboying. It
Yeah.
was really great.
And that was, I thought, like the best part about meeting him because he has a booth in the hallway or whatever. He's selling his merch and books and stuff. A lot of people there didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
They're maybe more on your side of
Sure.
marketing. And he's next to Bruno and just was super cool to everybody.
Yeah.
He did all these crazy face-to-face photos
Yeah.
with anyone who wanted to. And he just thinks it's hilarious and likes doing it. And at one point, the line was so long, we were in line and we were just like, oh, we got to go check out, we got to go watch Bruno. So the line was, I mean, he just talked to everybody and
Yeah.
and it wasn't rushing to get people through or anything. So just a humble dude who loves speaking and sharing design, it seemed like.
Awesome. Awesome. Super cool. And we got him to come back. Yeah.
I think so.
This summer, maybe?
It's so funny because like after I really learned who he was, I was like, this is a celebrity. I'm never going to meet this person. You know, and then I work here for a little bit. I have his book in my
Yeah.
office and Kelly's like, you know, he's my cousin, right? And I'm like, this is the 5th time you've told me this. But yes, I know he's your cousin. And then she's like, you're going to Ad Connect next week. Here's your sign up. You're going to meet my cousin. And I was like, this is happening. This is, you know, it was great. It was
Yeah.
so cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hopefully he makes his way back to come and hang out with us because I feel like I'm out of the loop. I feel like I need
great.
to get my signature photo with him.
You got to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, wonderful.
Nose to nose.
Okay, so my last question for you guys, based on your experience at Ad Connect and all the breakout sessions and speakers that you heard from, what do you feel like you are inspired about for the year to come for 2026?
I don't want to bring this back into AI because it's always AI. But, you know, I always got Kelly. She's like, you need to speed up on those reels. And I'm like, I am trying. I'm going as quick as I can. But, like, implementing a lot of those new tools that, like, even Adobe Max, that conference just went down and they released so many new functions. And it's not typing in, this is the video I want and having
Yeah.
it spit it out. It's like using AI to auto-transcript your video so I don't have to listen through the whole thing to cut out what I want. I can select 3 dots in a transcript and hit delete, and it
Yeah.
trims my video for me. So
Yeah.
implementing a lot of that to make my workflow a lot more efficient, and then just trying outside of the box ideas and concepts for logo clients and illustrations. Vectors are free. Use your arrows. This turns into this, turns into this. Just keep getting weird. Make it different. I think those are the things that
Yeah.
I'll be doing,
I
you know,
love it.
with the conference.
I think the thing that just stuck with me was just, keep doing kind of what we're doing. It seemed like you said, the big agencies were doing what we're doing. And if we don't have to use AI, then don't. But if it does help and make things faster, but I think my goal is just always keeping that human connection
Yeah.
with anything we do and giving clients something that's meaningful to them and not something that's just taking everyone else's ideas and making something that will work.
Yeah.
Like actually giving them something that's good and meaningful, I think, is my goal since that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Well, wonderful. I'm super happy to have had the opportunity to sit down and talk with you guys and just learn a little bit more about your experience at Ad Connect.
We can
I think
keep talking about it. If you,
I
We got
think-
more draft. We didn't even talk about the airport.
Oh God. I think it's super awesome just to have given you guys the opportunity to get in a room with a bunch of other creatives and your design hero and our friend Mary Bruno and all of those things, get to spend more time together as a team outside of the office. Those are things that are really important to us here. So with that, we will see you next week on our next episode of Behind the Brand. Thanks.
bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Brand. If you like this episode, share it with a friend. If you didn't, share it with an enemy. To keep up with us, follow along on our socials. Links are in the show notes below.